Tonight, News Channel 5 Investigates reveals the big money behind efforts by out-of-state Christian nationalists. That to gain power right here in Middle Tennessee. Thanks for being with us. I'm Rory Johnston.
And I'm Carrie Sharp. Our investigation discovered the people funding that effort are spending millions of dollars banking on the collapse of society as we know it. News Channel 5 Chief Investigative Reporter Phil Williams has spent weeks digging more into this project in Jackson County, focusing this time on the views of the developers behind it.
And Phil, we know now, you know now, this is more than just about faith. This is about power.
Absolutely. We previously revealed the controversial ideas of the podcasters who were first on the ground for this project. Their views toward immigrants, people of color, Jews, and women. In the case of the out-of-state developers, we've now dug up video and other evidence where they give voice to ideas about the future of America that may be foreign to the people who already call Jackson County home.
Cholera came to Gainesboro in 1850. Most people deserted the town, and they were among the few who stuck around.
A historian by training, Mark Dudney's interest in Jackson County's past and its future is more than just academic. His ancestors were Gainesboro's first family.
My family's been here for 7 generations.
We first met Dudney last fall when we came to Jackson County to listen to local residents after News Channel 5 Investigates revealed the efforts by outsiders to turn the county into a Christian nationalist haven.
Our hometown is not a test tube for some extremist social experiment.
Earlier this year, after Tucker Carlson embraced the project, Dudney released a video on social media denouncing the controversial views of the 2 podcasters chosen as ambassadors for that effort. Since then, signs have sprung up across the county in opposition to the group.
Do you think people here fully appreciate the powerful forces that are involved in this?
I think some people do, and I think maybe other people just don't like somebody coming in and to their home and saying, we're going to plant a flag and build a town right on top of the one that you already have.
Our goal is something where we actually have the concentration where we can control the town, or in this case, there's of the people there, it's a town that's already very values aligned. So it's
Dallas-based investor Nate Fisher heads the company financing what appears to be a multi-million-dollar effort in the Upper Cumberland region. New Founding LLC promises you can build the America you want to live in. Among the company's investors is tech billionaire Mark Andreessen. Last year, a New Founding executive also posted a pic of the team with now Vice President J.D. Vance, referring to him as our guy.
We currently have thousands of acres and, ultimately aspire to get up to tens of thousands of acres.
The company's managing partner, Josh Abatoy, moved to Gainesboro to lead the real estate effort, working out of this small office building in a community where they see a chance for their buyers to gain political power.
It's more attainable to get into civic and cultural leadership in a small town. It's more attainable to change the local market, to make your presence felt.
It's an effort that New Founding compared internally to the landing of the Pilgrims at Plymouth Rock.
Well, we almost called the project the Mayflower at some point.
Project Mayflower, exactly.
Project Mayflower, yeah. Yeah, back in the day.
Mark Dudney's reaction?
As a local who loves the community, I have an emotional response to it. It feels like an insult to people who lived here, who lived their lives here before.
This is why I've chosen to partner with New Founding and Ridge Runner and take my family to the new community they're settling in Tennessee.
Prior to teaming up with New Founding, one of those podcasters, Andrew Isker, published a book titled Christian Nationalism, a biblical guide to taking dominion and discipling nations. His co-author, Andrew Torba, started the Gab website that gives a platform to neo-Nazis, conspiracy theorists, and other extremists. Their book calls for taking control of townships, school boards, and counties, and exiting what they call the beast system completely, lying in wait for the system to collapse.
I think even those who play it best, it may be extremely painful. depends on how sort of violent the collapse is.
And Fisher penned a manifesto, what he calls a strategy for a new founding, declaring that coming years will bring turmoil and peril, but also great opportunity to shape the direction of Western civilization. Fisher insists national divorce must be on the table. The only question is whether it happens peacefully.
For me, new founding represents the ability to put infrastructure into actualizing a radical Christian nationalist movement that has a fundamentally different vision for America than America itself.
And they call it a new founding.
A new founding, literally.
James Lindsay is a conservative commentator who has clashed online with the new founding crew after he declared that the extreme far right is becoming what he calls the woke right. He calls this a dark doomsday mentality.
It's about breaking America into communities that don't get along with one another. We're no longer one nation under God. We're no longer this single federal entity. We're now this hodgepodge of micronations that don't necessarily get along.
Not only did the developers behind the Jackson County project share a political ideology, they're also members of a secretive men's-only society designed to train a generation of far-right Christian leaders to take control when the time comes. That group, the Society for American Civic Renewal, has a website that touts the notion of seeking a civilizational renaissance. Its membership documents call for developing a list of potential appointees and hires for an aligned future regime.
They've really staked their reputations very significantly on believing that the American system is in free fall and it's going to have a catastrophic end, and that, you know, it's theirs to rebuild from the ashes.
How does this fall on you as a historian?
Like a load of bricks. To me, what they're advocating is fundamentally un-American.
Mark Dudney says he often imagines if he had a chance to sit down with his late father, how he would explain the people who've now come to Jackson County, who do not seem to be rooting for the country his dad loved.
And you remember how you and Mom taught us words like love, forgiveness, and compassion? Well, they use words like dominion and national divorce and multi-generational spiritual warfare. And lucky us, they've decided to grow their political base out of right here in Jackson County. It's personal to me and to a lot of other people here.
And there's a lot more to this story, a lot more players. You'll find all of that on our website, including details about that secretive men's-only group. I wanted to give the developers, Nate Fisher and Josh Abatoy, a chance to answer my questions, but they never responded to any of my messages asking for comment. As for J.D. Vance, the vice president's office tells me he takes lots of photos with lots of people. They specifically deny that he has ever been part of that secretive men's group.
So, Phil, I guess the question now is, how is this plan working out? Are people buying up land in Jackson County?
Well, you know, to hear them on their podcast, you know, things are going great. You know, I check land records on a regular basis. I haven't seen a whole lot of signs of people really buying up lots of land, but, you know, we'll see.
Yeah.
We know you'll be watching.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Phil.